Hi, Arjun. Thank you for inviting me today.
Awesome. So I know you have spent time in like hundreds of episodes creating your show. So maybe let me just get started with asking you about that. Tell us about Prodcast and like in general about your show and what is your show about and who should tune in.
Yeah, perfect. Good question. So, my show is about product management. So, you can find it from the name Prodcast, Product Management Podcast. Initially, it was only for product managers who are looking for a job in the US. But lately, I widened my audience to other workers in tech and actually all people who want to find a job in technology and immigrate to the US. So my core audience so far is immigrants to the US who work in tech, high skilled professionals mostly. And mostly people from Eastern Europe who speak Russian language. So I have two shows in English
Okay.
and in Russian. We can talk about that later. But my Russian channel is more popular. That's because it's my niche.
Perfect. Yes. And I'm excited to talk to you all about that. But let's just take one step back to the time when you started the show. Flashback to that time. What were you doing at that time? And how did you decide that starting a show was a great next step for you?
Yeah, it was absolutely organically. I've never thought about launching my podcast and show. And 4 years ago, when I was looking for a job in the US, I
Mhm.
struggled a lot. I spent a lot of time interviewing for companies. I spent around 3 months and I passed 100 interviews. And I created an article, How to Find a Job in the US if you are not a software engineer. And if you're an immigrant as well. And this article was became super popular. And after that article, people started reaching out to me and asking, Anna, please tell us how to find a job in the US from all media, like Russian media. I'm talking like this article was in Russian language, from product management school, product management community, people in tech, like everyone. And I started like talking to people about that, describing how to find a job. But after 2 years of doing that for other resources, I realized, Anna, why are you not doing it for yourself? You probably should
Mm.
launch that, should launch your own show. And that's how I launched my podcast channel in on YouTube. So I don't know
Mm.
why. I decided to start with YouTube and then spread to other platforms.
That's really exciting. So it was very organic. It was more or less a cry out of like, oh, this is all the things that I did, and I want to share this with the world, and that took off. And then from there, you decided to convert that into your audience and like start talking more about that. Um, Tell me more about what happened after that. So, what was the process that you followed, and how did you land up on two YouTube channels, one in English, one in Russian? Just walk us through that process.
Yeah, I started experimenting with the content. I started experimenting with formats and with platforms because I didn't want to stop only on YouTube. And actually, running YouTube channel is very time consuming and it's super
Mm.
slow. It's not easy because initially when you launch something on YouTube, you have zero audience and you have very slow community growth. And I don't remember when I reached my first 1,000, but after 1,000 subscribers, followers, you can monetize your YouTube. So,
Mm.
and it took me like, as far as I remember, like 6 months, or even more. It's not quick. It's not quick process. So, and I started experimenting with topics. So initially, I started with product management, as I mentioned before. Then I started inviting because my show is interviews like yours. I like
Mm.
talking to people, and I invite people initially, managers, and then I started inviting software engineers, QAs, designers, marketing managers, and everyone who can work in tech, sales managers, HR, recruiters. And then I started. No, this is my Kitten, my mascot of my channel. She's always walking around, and my followers know her very well. So I started covering topics about immigration, visas, because it's pretty related to the job search in the US, like how to actually start your journey in the US. You should not start applying for a job if you don't have visa. First, you need to think it's about visa. And I started covering this topic, visas for talented people, O1, EB1, H1B, L1 visa, like etc. So, and then the last topic I started covering, because it's my personal interest, it was business, how to open business in the US, how to, I don't know, pay taxes if you're a business owner, etc. And this topic is still less popular. So I started experimenting with different topics, and career search, job search, like career building and job search, is actually the core of my topic. This video has have the most views. People like listening and watching about resumes. Resumes is a golden evergreen topic. How to build your perfect resume. That's like I can create 1 million videos about resumes, and it's gonna be super popular. Or like 5 top tips how to find a job in the US, how to pass interview at Google, Meta, Monk, whatever. Yeah. So that's like really evergreen golden topics on my channel. People always like that. So that's, I started experimenting with topics, and I still focusing on the job search because it's the most interesting topics. And also I started experimenting with platforms. So I started posting my audio on all podcast platform, and I started doing short videos on Instagram, YouTube Shorts, and also TikToks as well. So, but I think that's the topic I cover, and the way how I cover it's not probably perfect for TikTok, because I like long stories. It's very meaningful. It's very thoughtful topics, and it's like thoughtful conversation with my guests. It's very insightful. People usually say that Anna used probably the best quality videos in Russian language about the job search in the US, but it's not TikTok format. It's probably too boring. So I need to do like a fast food content for TikTok. Is different. So that's why I still focusing on YouTube, Russian speaking audience, and job search. That's like the core audience, like evergreen audience and topic for me.
So many lessons. I'm almost like sort of keeping a mental note of this, the timeline of how you went ahead with this, to you excavating different topics and picking what works, and then also experimenting with like several distribution channels. I want to like take this one at a time and then drill a little bit deeper into each of this. First, about the timeline part of it, right? Like you mentioned that you needed patience. It took like 6 months, and this is something that like many people struggle with. In that, like they do it for 2 weeks and 3 weeks, and it's like, well, nothing's happening. It's not moving. So tell us a little bit more about that mindset process and like how one can set up themselves for success by giving them enough time to experiment with this.
Yeah. First, definitely, it's a long journey, and you need to commit a lot of time on that. And that's why, if you want to run a show, the topic has to be what you really love to talk about. So it shouldn't be just for money. So defining topics just because it's trendy, it's not a good long-term strategy, because you'll be bored on that. So you have to select topic that you really like, because consistency is the key. You have to launch your show every week. For example, if it's a weekly show, you have to launch the show every Monday each week, regardless of your mood. I don't know, like a part of the year, holidays. So you have to do that consistently. You have to find a topic to discuss. You have to find a guest all the time. Like it's a lot of work, and you have to commit your time, and you have to commit your like energy for the long-term journey. So select, I don't know, like a year. So at least 6 months, like to test. So, and create a plan. Every week you should launch a show. What are you gonna talk about like next week? What's gonna be a topic of the next episode? Who are you gonna to invite to the next show? Like, etc. So you need to create this plan. You need to understand your long-term journey and future, because the audience, if you are talking about organic, it's a long journey, it's a long process, and it demands a lot of commitment, a lot of time. So, and I've never bought ads. I tried one time and it was unsuccessful on YouTube. I spent, I don't know, like $50 or so. I decided to try how it works. I absolutely killed Facebook recommendation for a week or two, because when you buy ads, even if it's not a lot of ads, your metrics like duration of views, conversions from views to likes, to comments, these metrics, that's your quality metrics, dropped significantly, because the audience you bought, it's not probably like they want to watch your video. They just click the ads, open like for 1 second and move, and leave your page. And these killed organic statistics for my views, and YouTube stopped recommending me. Because initially I built my credentials, I built my like quality of my videos. People like my videos, they liked it, they commented, they recommended, share, and YouTube started recommending me. But after I bought ads, it dropped. So like also like be cautious, especially with YouTube recommendation system. It's very picky. YouTube is very gentle system. So don't buy ads, or buy it very cautious, and maybe like hire a special agency for that. So to do that. So like my audience is organic. So far I have 6,000 followers on YouTube, all organic, and it's growing every month. I have 300 subscribers more. I don't advertise. I don't pay for ads. It's all like people recommend me, or just YouTube recommend me. And I've been doing it for almost 2 years. So I started like on March 2022.
This is great. So I think this gave us a good idea of the timeline. So you've been doing it for almost 2 years right now, and it takes a while before it ticks off and like start like giving some return on investment, and like you're seeing that growth happening, and you have to be very passionate. I really like that point that you mentioned, that the one way to stay to your journey is pick a topic that you can like endlessly be passionate about, and then like talk at any point of time. And you also mentioned a little bit about like building these routines, and like, who am I going to talk to? How frequently am I going to release that? And I want to double click on both of these things. Maybe the audience part and the passion part of it first is like, everybody has a passion and they want to like talk about that. But how do you intersect that to understand that like, hey, my passion could be about like, I don't know, bookbinding, and there's probably not much of an audience there, or maybe there is, I don't know. But how do you marry that passion with that audience and understand that this is something that there would be like an interest in? How did you go about doing that, or how would you recommend someone else goes about doing that?
Great question. I'm a product manager, and in product management, it's called product market fit.
Right.
And here we can call it like podcast market fit, also PMF, but podcast market fit. Yeah.
Right.
So what can you do from the product management side? You need to do research. Definitely. You need to research what's on the market, on your language, on the formats, what's your competitor. Know your competitor, like first, and understand, is it unserved niche, or is like cluttered? Like, for example, I think, so the only reason I think why my English channel didn't succeed is because it's cluttered. So I have, so this year like I last year, last year in 2023, I'm still in 2023. I launched my English channel when I'm speaking English with my English speaking guests about the same topic: job search, career, and tech. And I run like, I don't know how many, 20 or 30 episodes, and I have 400 followers. And I think those 400 is my from my Russian channel. It's like Russian people who just decided to listen to my English conversation. That's what I think. So no like other audience. It's just one audience like moved to another channel just to support me. That's what I think happened. And I think the reason is because there are a lot of channels about job search and career in English. So but in Russian language, talking about the US, I'm probably a unique person. Though this is niche, it's small niche, but it's unique. I'm a unique person who talking on YouTube about that, and that's like quality. So that's very important to understand who are your competitor, which market are you playing on. Is it like cluttered market, like who is also like who gonna be your like main competitor, like so identify that. And then if you still want to go to this market, if it's cluttered, understand what can make you unique. Yeah, maybe like the way you present, maybe like your jokes, like you have your special jokes, maybe you have your special outfit, I don't know, like appearance, the way how you present. Maybe you have like a great networking to invite Mike Zuckerberg for your show. I don't know. So what can make you unique and stand out from other competitors? So if you don't have anything, probably it's not a good way to spend time and money, because it's still money. Your time is money.
Right.
And if you need like editor, you have to pay to editor. You have to like pay, also invest your own money in the show. So that's like my suggestion. First, do research. Second, understand your unique value proposition. And if you still have passion to do that, just do that and test.
Right.
Do and test, like try, but be committed to a 6 months journey at least minimum. Don't make decision after 2 weeks of unsuccessful work. If you run 2 show and you still have 20 followers, you're from your family and close friend circle, it's not the end of the world. Just do that. Try to promote, try to talk about your channel, invite interesting guests, because your guests can promote your show as well. That's how actually my show grew, because I invited like friends of friends, and they started like recommending me, and that's how YouTube started recommending me after that.
Right. Yeah. No, I love that. I think you spoke about identifying that underserved niche, and I feel like that's really valuable. And I am pretty sure like you did a great job in that, identifying what that underserved niche for yourself that you're passionate about, and then found that intersection over there. That makes a lot of sense. You also mentioned about the process, the experimentation process, like how you would have, I want to release this once a week, and I would then go on to invite this audience, and like I need to like invite them, put this in the calendar. Tell us a little bit more about the details of your process and like how you went about experimenting it. And at what point of time did you decide that like, oh, job search makes sense, or maybe I should change it to like something else? What was your process like?
Yeah, I always look at the conversion rate and feedback. So I'm still like referring to my product management background, and unfortunately I cannot run A/B tests. I wish I can, but at least I can run a show and see the feedback. You can check like statistic data on YouTube and any other platforms, like started from the CTR on your thumbnail. You can check the clickbait, how clickbait is like how attractive your title, how attractive your thumbnail. Also, you can see the duration of views, like proportion of views and likes, comments, how many people actually view the show, how many people reacted on the show, etc. So you can get this feedback, quality feedback on your show and define. So like, and it's not like about one video. If you want to test topic, you need at least, I don't know, like 3, 4, 5 videos on the same topic, because it might be related to guests. The guest is might not be super attractive. The, I don't know, specific episode is might not be super interesting. Maybe something with the time, like for example, if you launch something boring on Christmas holiday season, maybe it's not a good time to run this show during this holiday time, etc. So do at least like 3, 4, 5 episodes on the same topic and see the reaction and see the feedback, and then decide whether or not it's like a great topic for your audience or not. So I have a playlist, like it's called Business in the US. It's not super popular. People don't watch me for business purpose. People watch me because they need to find how to create a perfect American resume, or how to apply for the job, how to improve LinkedIn, how to talk to recruiters, how to pass interviews, like etc. That's what people really like, and those videos always have a lot of views, very popular, and like a lot of comments, likes, etc. So that's like my experimentation process.
I like it. I think it's a lot of organically you discovered, and I love that like you bring in like the hard science of like product management into it, like very metrics driven, and like looking at the results and adapting and everything. I like the methodological process that you bring to it. I want to jump ship and talk about social media platforms, especially like the distribution channels. And I think you mentioned about how YouTube is your main channel through which you're like reaching people. That's where you're like learning the metrics and everything. But then you also experimented with other social media platforms. What would you recommend for someone starting out as to like how wide should they go, and like when to pull back, or like whether should they start niche? Tell me a little bit more about like what would you recommend?
I believe that the audience is actually flowing from one media to another media. So that's why I'm not focusing on one specific YouTube. So my the platform where I'm posting my videos is mostly YouTube. But these YouTube links, YouTube video, I always promote in my social media as Facebook, LinkedIn, because I'm talking about career, Instagram, Telegram. I just ran recently a Telegram channel because it's still like a good source of audience for me. Russian speaking people like Telegram. So, and then I run my TikTok, just post shorts video also. And I started recently experimenting with text as well. So I use tools like Cloud AI to convert audio to text, and then publish it as articles. And I'm publishing in Russian speaking media, and also in English, like Medium. I have my Medium page when I translate my audio into text in English and post it as well. So I'm also experimenting, because I received a lot of feedback from people like, Anna, I like your content, I like your video, but it takes like always 2 hours. I don't have time watching and listening to it. Please do some text, some highlights, and the most some insights, and put it into text so I can skim for like 2 minutes. And I just said, okay, I can do that. So, and I believe that the same audience is flowing from one media to another. It depends on the, like maybe part of the time. If you're there somewhere in the like staying in a line, they just usually open TikTok and watch 30 seconds video, or maybe if they home cooking, for example. So one of my subscribers sent me a message, Anna, I listened to all your like video on YouTube when I was cooking, preparing food, like all meal for my family. I said, that's a great background, like noise in your ears. Like it's like 1 hour, like an hour and a half cooking and listening to my podcast. Yeah.
This is very interesting. So your recommendation would be to first go wide. You will be finding some people liking some medium of or like some type of content, and then some other people like typing another type of content, and so go a little bit more wider and understand like what your audience, where your audience is, and then like maintain that.
Yeah. And all media has like these cross links. For example, you
Right.
always can find other links to my other social media. So if you watch TikTok, you can watch long videos on YouTube. Or if you read Medium, you can watch or listen to podcasts. You can, if you're like on social media like Facebook, I just promote it because when the actual traffic starts from my social media, because for YouTube it's also important to have these first views on the first day after publishing. That's how YouTube algorithms understand that this content is interesting and start recommending you after that. So the first 24 hours or even like less, I think 12 hours after launching your video is very important for YouTube to start like recommending you. If you can see my like the proportion of views on YouTube, the majority of people actually came from YouTube recommendation. And maybe like 1/4 or 1/3 is from my social media. So it's a
Got
lot
it.
of just strangers because Facebook understand that this content is interesting. They have like a good proportion of views versus likes or comments, and they start recommending you.
Got it.
So you need to boost, yeah, at the
Yeah,
beginning.
I love the idea of how you said it's almost like the cross promotion and like linking them one to the other, like a TikTok video and this text article, they're all pointing to your YouTube channel, and like there is just like so much cross, like it's almost like a web of content that
Yes,
you have like
yeah.
repurposed with that. Um, I love that a lot. And when you are looking for like feedback, right? Like, so okay, this is working or this is not working. I know that like you're a product manager and you're looking at the quantitative metrics that go on, like the likes, the clicks, the number of seconds that they've viewed it, and like I completely understand that world. But I also think maybe you should tell us about like what your part for that world is, where like quantitative metrics. But then also tell us about, are there any qualitative metrics? Like, oh, I heard from this one person and then I really liked it. Like, how do you mix and match this and then like come to like decisions based on that? Again, this is a very product manager question, but I know that like from the concept, from the process of creating a show, how should one think about it?
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, qualitative metric is also very important, and I received almost every day thank you messages to my social media. People send it to me like every day. Anna, thank you for your content. Anna, like your content helped me to find a job. Anna, your content is very valuable. Anna, like you, the best talking about resumes, like etc. So that actually gives me a motivation and energy to move forward, because it's still after 2 years doing that, it's still like ROI is still negative. I still cannot don't make money on that. I invest a lot, I invest my time and invest money, but I can earn money on that. So like show is not about probably making money. Maybe if you're I have to do like fast food content, definitely something about
Right.
like doing about cats, yeah, like cats life, something with 1 million views. But my content is very like probably boring for a very narrow niche, narrow
Right.
audience, and I will never have millions of views on YouTube with this type of content. And YouTube pays me like $100 per month. That's what YouTube pays me. Yeah. I do have money from consulting because people come to me and ask me for consulting. So that's how I make money. But like YouTube doesn't pay me much. So it's still
Right.
like ROI is still negative. So that's why this feedback that I receive from people really makes a lot of sense for me. It gives me a lot of energy, a lot of motivation. Because sometimes I think, oh my God, I'm so tired of doing that.
Right.
I want to give up. But no, I received this thank you message, and I think, okay, at least it's valuable. I have to do that. I have to move forward. So that's very important. And also negative. I do have negative comments.
I
Yeah, and
see.
I think it's probably from people who just want to comment something, and especially if I cover some topics, kind of like controversial topics. I like doing that. I like talking about things like, oh no, I don't know, like what was the last one? If I'm a homeless people, which city I'm gonna live in? Yeah, we
Okay.
discuss that. So this super controversial topic, and we discuss. Okay, I want to live in San Diego because it's nice weather. Or I want to live in like Chicago because a lot of money there. So something like that. We covered this topic. It's super controversial, and some people didn't like that, and I received like negative comments about that. But it's funny and it boosts this video had a lot of views because it was like, yeah, negative feedback is also a feedback, so I appreciate any feedback. I like all feedback I have.
That is very interesting. No, I think you mentioned a very interesting point that like this is still a cost center in that like you're spending money on this and you're not like making money on this. And so is the motivation for you is coming from this sort of impact that you're having on people and the feedback that you're getting from them. But then also tell me a little bit about like how this is fueling your business. This is almost like a marketing spend for your other business, which is your consulting business. Tell me more about that angle of whether you wanted to always do that, or is that like an organic thing that like it came out of this, or was it always the part where, hey, I'm going to open a consulting business, let's just drum up some traffic for that, and like how did that come about?
Yeah, that's a great question. I actually ask myself, why I'm doing that? What's
Right.
my goal? So, yeah, and I don't have answer because I'm doing that because I like it. So it's still like inner motivation to do that. I'm not doing that for money. It's great to have money. It's great maybe to build something on top of that. But consulting, it's also demands a lot of my time and energy. I'm
Right.
currently a full-time employee. I'm working as a product manager for the company, and I cannot spend a lot of time on consulting. Just don't have enough energy. But I am keep doing that. My podcast, I reduce number of consultation I can do, but still doing my podcast just for fun. Maybe in the future I can make money on that. I don't know. Maybe if I have like 50,000 subscribers, I'll have more money and I can maybe use that for the future. So far, I really don't know. It's still like I still invest my time there.
Got it. Got it. Okay. That sounds good. So your that part is still under experimentation for you. You will know more in the next 6 months, perhaps. That's awesome.
Oh, I have
Yeah.
I have one positive side of that. It's like networking. So I know that with my podcast, I can reach out almost everyone.
Mm,
Yeah. So this is a great point. If I need to reach out some, I don't know, C-level manager, I can come over and say like, okay, this is Anna. I'm a podcast host and author. Do you want to be in my podcast? I'm like want to talk to you. So that's a good way to meet up with interesting people who cannot be like not approachable from the first
right.
glance. Yeah. So this is a good point of that.
I love it. I mean, this is something that like I emphasize so much to business, especially like sales, head of sales, and everybody that the power of having a show and how much it can open doors for you, and
Yeah.
especially like the relationship that you maintain with past guests and how much they can actually open doors for you is totally worth it for just that part of it. So yeah, I totally hear you about that
Yeah.
part of it. It's not like making you money, but it's opening doors, which is so worth so much more
Yes.
if used in the right way. We're almost coming to an end. I'm going to like ask you one last question: is if someone comes and tells you that like, hey, I want to start my show, what is like one tip that you would give them for getting started?
Ooh, so yeah, let's come back to passion.
Hmm.
Do you have enough energy and passion to do that? Are you ready to commit 6 months of your time talking about this topic? Is this topic is really interesting for you that you can do that for free? At least for
Hmm.
the first like 6, 12 months without return on investment, or why you actually want to do that? If you are going to do that for money, no, that's not a great way to do that. You can make money or something else. But if it's
Right.
your passion, and if you feel that you're ready to invest a lot of your time and money without return on investment, that's probably you should try, at least to try. Yeah. So that's
Yes.
my probably tips for creators.
I
But
like
it's
that. I
cool.
think.
But it's cool. Yeah. When you start receiving your first audience and feedback, oh my God,
Mhm.
it's so cool. It's so
I
cool.
like it.
Yeah. Yeah.
I like what you said. Like, it started with passion and it's ending with that, and I really like that note. And the moment you actually share a passion with some random stranger who actually like gives you that feedback, it's a rush. It makes you feel so much more motivated to do this, and for that reason, it's worth it to start a show, especially in something that aligns so well with a passion area of yours. Anna, thank you so much for being on this show. I I enjoyed like talking to you about like these different topics and in general about your outlook on like creating a show and transparently sharing about like your journey. Appreciate your time. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Arjun, for inviting me. I enjoyed talking to you.